Hello and welcome to The Wise Why. We're back after a bit of a break due to half term and various other things, but this morning I am joined by Daren Elsley and we are going to talk about bollocks, Bollox, for anyone who is thinking I'm swearing first thing in the morning, and we are going to talk about men's health. But as usual, The Wise Why is not about me, it is about my guest. So Daren, the floor is yours. Please explain about my bollocks.
Well, my bollocks, it came about after one of my friends, long-term friends, Peter Fiddler. He was 36, but I've been friends with him for years, since we were probably about 8 years old. And sadly, he died of cancer just after our 40th birthday. So we had, I did a couple of charity bike rides, as you do. I think everyone sort of like is fairly kind of like, you feel like you have to do something. Sober House looked after him amazingly. So I did a couple of charity bike rides. And during that bike ride, I just wanted to raise awareness for cancers. It wasn't necessarily men's cancers at that time, because Peter had bowel cancer, went to his pleura and into his brain. But so I wanted to raise awareness because, possibly if he'd gone to the treatment was quicker and he'd gone to the doctors earlier, it may be a completely different story, because bowel cancer is sort of highly treatable, and so is men's cancers the earlier you go in. So it is all about that awareness and recognizing the signs and symptoms. So I did the bike ride, and I think during that I just thought, a pair of underwear, call them bollocks. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. I love the word bollocks. Everyone either talks bollocks, says the word bollocks. It's not really an offensive word anymore. It's a good play on words. I wanted to, obviously it's Bollox. It's a bit cheeky. You can have a bit of fun with it. Not fun when you've got cancer, but fun. You can have a bit of fun with it leading up to that, and getting that awareness. I just thought it would resonate with lots of people, and kids having bollocks on their underwear, on the band, just above their waistband. Anyway, I didn't have a clue. I was in the printing industry, didn't have a clue about. I just wore underwear. I didn't know where you get them, what they're made of, anything. So anyway, this journey started of me trying to, get some quality underwear. We're our 10th anniversary now, and that journey continues. We've grown the brand, the quality's spot on now. We've got a good number of followers, but it's still tough, and we've got to keep going. And you're trying to reinvent yourself and make the brand relevant all the time. So that was the catalyst. It was my friend Peter, passing away with cancer.
And one of the things, I met you out networking, but one of the things I absolutely admire about you is it's not just one company you run, is it? You do multi. You are like a serial entrepreneur, as well as doing jumping into ice baths and other things. But can you explain about the other stuff that you do? Because you're the man that just keeps going and keeps reinventing.
Well, yeah. It's necessity. I'm always thinking of something I can do, So obviously I've got Bollox, which is now 70-80% of what I do. But also got a brand which I call Perfectly Wrapped, when I wrap architecture. That's fairly new. So it's just, for me, it's having different avenues, but my passion and my main drive is Bollox underwear. It's got an emotional attachment for me. And obviously I'm doing the Bollocks and Boots charity walk. That's been 5 years in the making. First year I bottled out because I just thought no one's going to come, and it'll just be me, my dad, and my two friends, and maybe my girlfriend.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you want to explain? I'm going to put the TikTok on so people can see what we're talking about, because they don't know. It's all good when we know what the Bollocks and Boots charity walk is, but a lot of people won't who are listening. So can you explain what you're doing? Because it's massive. And this is the reason I asked you on the show.
Yeah, so the Bollocks and Boots charity walk is for guys. It's very similar to the ladies' bra walk, or moon walk they call it, or midnight walk they call it now. I seem to have lost you.
Oh, I can still see you. So you're still live.
Oh, okay. I've completely lost you. How bizarre. Oh, you're back. You went,
Welcome.
oh, someone's
By the
cut me
way,
off.
this is exactly what happens when you go live. Things go wrong and it throws you. So don't worry. It's all good. Take a breath.
Ofcom had switched me off.
No, not at all. Not at all. Let's explain about the Bollox and Boot walk. And I'm going to call out a few people at the end of this, because I'm going to charge them to take part, because I can.
Yeah, well, it's I don't think there's any walks like it. It's Bollox and Boots. I want to try and get as many guys as I can to walk either 5k or 10k in a pair of Bollox and a pair of boots. When I first started it, I was adamant I wanted people in underwear, guys in underwear and a pair of boots. Massive impact. But now I've kind of like, okay, some guys don't want to show off, haven't got body confidence or whatever it might be. So now you can wear a t-shirt or you can wear them over trousers, just to open it up, really. But the message is still the same, is to raise men's cancer awareness. Orchid, which is the men's cancer charity, who we're supporting and we're sponsoring and fundraising for them. And I've had so many people who just, it's going to be based at the Harwell campus on the 2nd of September this year, 10 till 2. Dish, which is the kind of like eaty place, foodie place at Harwell, they're going to open up. So everything sort of came together only about a month ago. I was like, whoa, we're off. Right, shit. I need to get as many guys as I can now to come. So now I'm just running around trying to get that camaraderie kind of guys together, but women are very, very empowered. The bra walk is testament to that. They all come together, all shapes and sizes, they all just very supporting each other, all very empowered. And so I'm trying to mimic that with Bollox and Boots for the guys. So you can go onto the landing page, register, and I'll just and see how it goes. But I'd love this to be the first of many in different counties, and just do one in every county. It'd just be good fun, and as we grow and as I learn how to do things better, it'll become maybe a bit of a family event. Partners can come along, we'll have, it should be a bit of fun. That's what I want.
So I'm going to call out the security market, because most of you are men, and I'm going to say to you, I want to see you on that walk, and I will be there to cheer on from the sides. The same with all my engineering contacts. I am calling you out to come to Oxfordshire and take part in the Bollox and Boots. I hope I got that correct. Yeah, and you will find the link going across the tape right now. So I will be tagging as many people on this post, because I think it's really important. Particularly the security market, why. There's just been a new person. I'm not going to expose them, but we need to do it for him. So let's do it for everybody. So yes, let's all come together. So anyway, that's me doing my soapbox. You were in the print industry.
Yeah, I was in the print industry from a young age. So I did an apprenticeship at 21 and on a presses, worked through estimating sales, sort of ran a local printing business. When that came to, I was running the underwear alongside it. I only, probably 10-15% of my time was spent on the underwear, because my full-time job was running a printing business. But it was I was passionate about it. So, but it just ticked along really as more of a sort of like a hobby type thing. And when I come out of the industry, I decided to go for it. Just put Bollox front and center, and if you give them 100%, then hopefully it'll do what it needs, and that's what it did. And thankfully, it's grown. It's still tough, we had Brexit, Apple changed their privacy settings that actually sort of halved Facebook ads potential. And there's no end to it. Then obviously with COVID, and then we got the shipping crisis, all the costs went up. So you're constantly being hammered, and you've got to have thick skin, and a lot of resolve. And that's where I think my passion and my belief in the brand and what it can do, and saving lives, but also just improving the life potential. Once you've had, if you've got prostate, the earlier you go in, the earlier you can have intervention, and the better lifestyle you're going to have afterwards. And that's what I think a lot of guys don't get, especially with prostate, is the earlier the intervention, you can massively improve the outcome, and And so that's the message I want to I really need to get across. I think a lot of charities want to get across is that it's that awareness. And prostate is a little tricky little bugger, because a lot of people just think it's kind of like, oh well, I'm going to the toilet more often, but I am 50. Of course I had a lot to drink. That's what happens to them, but sometimes it's not. So you've got to be, as long as all you can do is, that's why the underwear and every pack there is a little leaflet it describes the signs and symptoms of prostate, penile, and testicular cancer. And I think that's for guys. That's our best defence. And also not just guys, but also their partners to be aware of it as well. Because I think women are a lot more assertive on that front. They talk about it more, and so if they're aware of it, and guys are aware of it, they can pass that down to their children. It's kind of like it just makes absolute sense to me.
No, thank you for sharing. I had a mentor when I joined Samsung Hanwha Techwin, Martin, and he took me under his wing. He looked after the Dutch side of the business and Benelux, and well, just Benelux, full stop. And it's Martin Cottle, and I didn't know when I met him he'd been off with prostate cancer. I had no idea. And then he took me under his wing, and he was just. Oh, he just was so calm and inspirational to actually some of the stuff I do today. And unfortunately, the cancer didn't go; it came back. And a year, 2 years later, we were at his funeral, and it still affects me now. I can't. And my uncle got skin cancer, and I'm going to say honestly, these numbers are still on my phone. I cannot delete them, even though I know they're not here. I can't delete their numbers because that would mean that I'm getting rid of them somehow. And it's like an imprint. And, someone said to me today, I went, look, we're going to be talking about male cancer this morning on The Wise Why, because we need to talk about it. You're right. There's a lot going out there about women. We know to check our breasts. We know how to look for, or the silent one, ovarian cancer, it's a really silent killer, but we're still aware of it. We know what to look for. We know some of the signs, and there's just not enough out there. And then you add in the shame element, and it's almost like guys aren't allowed to show weakness. And if you do show weakness,
I think for ladies, for women, I've got 2 daughters. From a very early age, they have periods. They talk about severe. So they go for smears, and so they're kind of are used to that kind of talking about and going to the doctors and look at them sort of like private areas. They're sort of introduced it at very young. Boys just aren't. Boys don't have it. It's their bits and bobs, and it's very private. So they're not exposed to that, and I think most of it. So you've just disappeared again.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about that.
It'll come back. I'll keep going. So basically, as well. So for men, I think it's fear is the primary driver. Men just don't want to know. That don't want to be aware of it because there's a fear factor there. Of what if it is cancer? What if it is something? But I don't understand the mindset of not just men, but anyone who sort of like thinks there's something wrong. Not to just go to the doctors, because if you go to the doctors, that decision is not going to give you cancer. If you've got cancer, you've got cancer. Go to the doctors. It's only a beneficial thing to go to the doctor and then either be told there's nothing wrong, and then your anxiety will drop down, and you'll think, oh, thank God for that. Everything's fine. I can get on with my life. But if it is, then something's going to be done about it. And the earlier the intervention, it can only be a more positive outcome, So I think the mindset has to change from this automatic fear. I'm going to stick my head in the sand. I'm not going to go to the doctors because it won't happen to me. And if it is, I don't want to know about it. Don't get that.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's really important. It's really important to hear it from a man's point of view, because as women, we tend to jump on the bandwagon, we tend to bang the drum, and we're very good at it. But actually, this is about you guys. It's not about us. It's about you guys and being brave. And it is bravery. Fear is possibly the most debilitating thing, and it will stop us. And it's like this. It's incredible how fear can limit you. And I'm just really, really pleased that you said yes, one, to being brave and doing your first live, but
Yeah.
two, to coming on and sharing your story. So I'd like to ask who, apart from Peter, has inspired you?
Who's inspired me through it? Well, through my journey of doing underwear, I've met people who let you down, because you've, I think everyone is responsive to outside influences, so some people who are negative about what you're doing, and then you start to doubt your own brand, and your own mission, and there's there's several people who are like that, but there are people like, in instance, there was when I was going through the process of starting the brand. There's a company called IP Assets, and I met him networking for and I was talking about trademarking the brand. And to trademark the brand is thousands and thousands of pounds to get it trademarked. And so for most people, including myself, it was like, that's just, it's a big risk. I've just spent 12 grand or whatever on underwear. It's just something which I would love to do, but you get that point where you go, okay, this is maybe too. But he took on Ian, said, we'll support you, we'll help you get it through there. And without him and his support and his energy and everything else, I wouldn't have got it trademarked, and I may well have just stopped, so he's definitely been influential in my journey. Obviously my wife and my children, because I do it all the time, I'm either thinking bollocks, talking bollocks. They're either helping me wrap bollocks, taking pictures of me and my bollocks, getting their boyfriends and now their husbands. I think I've used every person I could possibly use to help me just grow the brand. Even now, I need some pictures for Instagram, and so I've got my daughter's boyfriend. He's going to plays golf, so he wants to get some golf pictures. The plunge pool thing, that was my daughter's plunge pool. So yeah, my whole immediate family have been brilliant, and without that support.
I love your marketing. Your daughter, by the way, is a genius. I love what you do, because it's just pushing the boundaries, but raising awareness. And I work in marketing and communications, but I love it. I loved your latest reel, and I should have got that as a ticker tape so people could see it, because it was brilliant. It's like it's hot outside, and there you are getting into an ice tub, but it's the fact that there's a cohesive message all the way through everything that you are doing. And of course, I've been able to link with prostate with Paul and get you connected with him. And for me, that was a real big link, because I'd gone to a big security show, an event that Roy Cooper, see Roy, I want you there. I told you I'm going to call some people out today. He was supporting Paul and Mark Wall, but paid an awful lot of money for a bottle of, I can't remember what it was, and they were putting the money in. So now, I want them to come on your boots and bollocks, walk. But then, when I realised that actually it wasn't just because I met you, I didn't realise that you were actually raising money from the sales as well. And it was like, hang on a minute, no, this needs to be talked about. And so I know you had some stocks. You're waiting for the new stock to arrive. Has it arrived yet?
Yes, they all arrived. Yeah, I got some flown over because I needed them for Father's Day, so I got some flown over. The rest are on the sea at the moment, so they're arriving this month, and then we've got a load more arriving in September. But yeah, so the whole point of the brand is to obviously, I want guys to raise awareness, but I want them to also have a really comfy pair of underwear. So this new range has got bamboo and cotton mix, and they are just so nice. There's a little comfy pouch, and I've always tried to have the quality, so they wouldn't just buy it as a bit of a giggle and go, oh, a pair of underwear called bollocks. I want to put them on and go, actually, these are just feel absolutely lush. I like them. They fit well, don't ride up, and the range we've got now has absolutely smashed it. I'm so pleased with it. So that was obviously having the quality underwear. Obviously, the message is every time you pull them up, you're reminded to check your bollocks. Leaflet inside there, signs and symptoms of men's cancers. On the website, links to charities who are more experienced than I am at giving advice, because I didn't want to be a charity. I wanted the charities to use bollocks as a method or a vehicle to kind of to send that message out. but also, and then the charitable donation at the end is, for me, is just a little tick box at the end that I'm giving something back, you know. But the most important part is the awareness, because that's 95% of the whole reason for the brand is awareness.
So I'm placing my order now. I know you've got stock, because my husband needs new underwear, and he genuinely loves bamboo underwear. And I'm just going to let you know that Mike Foster, who is also going to come on the show, has said that he's wearing the new style today, and he's put a big smile on that. So, and Ian Bingham of IPS, it's as a top man and so supportive again from Mike. So you do have somebody watching you. I told you you would.
Yeah.
Did you have, now I always find, because we know why you set it up, and I know you've had moments where it hasn't been easy, but did you have any times where you were really, really going, why am I doing this?
Oh God, yeah. You end up being bipolar. So, for sure, yeah. Whenever I have my, when things haven't gone well, because you when you've got any business person, you are exposing yourself to potential failure. And I think, sometimes in this country, people just think that, some people like you to fail, but you got to get over that. You just go, but if you don't try it, you'll never know. And I always go back to when I'm feeling a little bit kind of like, oh God, this is just, I'm banging my head against a wall here. I just think about Peter, and what he went through, what he put up with. And so in memory of Peter, I'll never stop. Whether the brand goes global or whether it stays small, and we sell, 15, 20,000 pairs a year, and then I'm reaching 15, 20,000 guys that I might save a life. That's cool. I think that's really cool. So if I can do that, and I can have a laugh along the way, so. But yeah, for sure, I have, ups and downs, not massive downs, but sometimes you just think, why isn't this, it's
I hear you.
All the right ingredients to be a successful brand. Yeah, so anyway, but like I say, I'm sure every business owner has these ups and downs. It's just part of business.
I think it's important to have those ups and downs. When I get like that, I always remember, particularly because when I first set up, I launched the business on social because it was free and it was relatively easy. Well, it wasn't easy. I had to understand and learn, and I did train in the platforms through the tech pixels, and then I layered on my own marketing experience and pulled it all the way together to create the social selling platforms that I work and do now. But when I first started launching the brand on social media, I got a lot of rude comments like, oh, you're very busy on your socials. And I remember being really taken aback by it. And at that point, I went on, started talking about the crab analogy. I don't know if you've heard of this. Do you know the crab bucket? No. So I was really low by one of these comments. It literally floored me because it was something that I thought was a really good friend. And they were just, it was like, they did it, and then they cackled like a witch because they thought it was really funny that I was on socials. And I was like, but it's not me on social media, it's my business brand on. And then the cackle of the witch really left me going, oh. And somebody had told me this crab analogy, which is about a bucket. And if you've got one crab in the bucket, that can crawl out. But if you get two crabs in the bucket, the other crab can't pull out because the other one's pulling you back in. And so when I was feeling really low over the comment, I thought, no, I'm not going to let that crab come in, which sounds really bad because we're now talking about bollocks and crabs. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, there's a bit of synergy there. If you've been very active with your bollocks, then you might get crabs.
I'm a bit itchy now. But yeah, it was one of those really important moments in my life where I just went, no, I am not going to be pulled back in. And I think that's one of the things I met you. I saw you about a year ago. First saw you at Tame, and you were this light force, this energy in the room. And it was just like, I didn't quite get what you were doing purely because I was really nervous. And people don't think I do get nervous, but I was really nervous myself, thinking I don't have a right to be in this room. And I think
you get imposter syndrome.
You do. And I struggled with that quite a lot, very much so a year ago.
Yeah.
Have you managed
when I moved from print to this full time, then I did have that imposter syndrome. I was thinking, oh my God, are people going to think, what is he doing? And but I think we all get that, and you either get over it or you give up. And for me, I'm not going to give up. with the underwear. So it's, like I say, it'll keep going till I drop down dead, and then my gravestone will just say bollocks.
Do you know what? I will come and put flowers, although I think I'm possibly about the same age, so maybe even older. So maybe maybe I'll go first.
We don't want to race to the finish, do we?
No, I promised my daughter I was going to live to 140. What am I thinking?
Go for it.
Yeah, I must be mad. So Gary's joined us and said, "Oh my, bollocks and crabs." So this is where you get to turn the table on me, and you get to ask me a question that I've got no idea what it is. And this is either where I take a deep breath in and go, "Ooh," or
I have to ask you a question.
Yeah, you get to throw anything you want at me. You've been in the hot seat for 25 minutes.
Oh, right. I have nothing prepared. I'm like, if you'd asked, that is throwing me in the hot seat. I would have had prepared something. I was going to ask you. So, and I'll ask you something personally then. Because obviously when you go networking, and I met you at a pitch event, and I see you when we go networking. How do I come across? Because you're always doubting your own presentation skills, and so I know the person I am when I'm talking to my family and stuff and friends. I'm in the pub or whatever, but then you stand up and start. I know sometimes you feel like a different person, or you try not to be. But so how do I come across
passionate,
to a professional like you?
Passionate, believable, honest, investable. So all of the things that you would need, because you are driven by a personal story to never give up. So determined and driven. It's your energy and your passion that is really key here, because you have a cause and it's right down, it's personal. Anybody who is thinking about investing would go, this guy's never going to give up. And
okay, cool.
And I think that's really important. That if you're going to, let's talk about investment for a minute. I mean, I'm not an investment specialist where we need Mike Foster on, or we need Andrea. But what I do know is, to be investable, you've got to be believable and you're authentic. There is no point trying to be, and that's what I was talking about. There's no point trying to be what you're not. Getting and doing mistakes is really, really important, because nothing is perfect and they're magical mistakes. And I love the fact that we all make mistakes, but your drive and your passion is what makes you investable. It's that honesty. And thank you, Mike, because I'm put on the spot here. Mike has just said 100%. So I would say your authenticity, which we keep talking about. And this is why the platform, I'm not going to give up on the Wise Why, even if I end up doing it because there's a story going on, which I will come on to at some point. But even if I end up doing it from a static caravan, I'm not going to give up this, because this is a platform about authenticity. And the reason for it is, in the world of AI, video with you being you, live and vulnerable, is the human element of the brand, and that's the human element of you. And you can't lie live, so, because the camera would see it. So I'm going to say absolutely investable. We've just got lovely comments from Mike, and Luke Stills just said, good explanation, Kirst, well described. I am seeing of Mr. Bollox today, so he'll be buying a pair. Keep shining, Mr. B. Your light allows others to shine too. I think
that's
you have
nice.
done you absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to put the ticker tape on so they know where to see you. In fact, Luke, I hope to see you on the Bollocks and Boots walk. So this is the link for the Bollocks and Boots walk. Please come to Harwell. Please raise money, because it's really important. And I'm so honoured that you today said yes to coming on and talking about men's health. You get to sign off today, because this is your show.
No, well, Kirsty, like I say, I could just thank you for giving me the opportunity. I've never done a live anything before, so it was good for my nerves. Yeah, so I feel like I've got a bigger pair of bollocks now, so which is good. And hopefully we'll just carry on reaching more guys, raising the awareness of men's health. And like I say, if throughout your life you can save some lives, then that's only can be a good thing. So yeah, but thanks for the invite, and hopefully we'll see you at Bollocks and Boots event.
Awesome.
Take care.